Welcome back, my delinquents. Welcome back, my delinquents. We have another case today sweeping over our desk, and it's from the React VTuber slash streamer Kitsu Nero, which their trending post, which has over 100,000 likes right now, going around, getting a bit of controversy, not particularly within the VTuber sphere, but a little bit in there, as it is one of the rare posts that has left the VTubing sphere. You're not going to be shocked by what she said at all. It just seems it shocks people outside of VTubing. Weird. But she says men deserve to be loved and treated right. And people took offense to that. Well, at a certain point they took offense to this, as it does take a turn in the comments, because I was quite happy at the beginning of how positive it was. Well, you don't have to believe me, because I'm gonna show you. We're in the case room now, guys, so we're gonna be jumping into it, my delinquents. Starting with this post from March 16th. Yes, it was only 2 days ago. Where Kitsu posts, men deserve to be loved and treated right. And as you can see, it's done numbers. Out 2,000 comments, 9,000 retweets, 105k likes, 7,000 bookmarks. Everyone seems to have wanted their 2 cents into this. And I did see this when it was first going around. I didn't think too much of it, because a lot of VTubers like to say certain comments like this, especially depending what their main demographic is. They're going to speak to a general more than a huge group. As a lot of people know, if you're a woman, most of your viewers are men. So you may be talking directly to men, or you may be talking directly to women. But when it started making numbers, I paid attention to it because I was curious if it stayed positive or not, because when it left the sphere of VTubing, I was like, uh-oh, is this going to get negative? And at the beginning, it didn't really have any negativity, which I really loved. It was great. I was like, yay, it was this guy's being appreciative, no one being hateful. There was some people worried, like Siegfried here, going to ask people going to send you hate over this, but at the time, they hadn't yet. Everything on the internet goes downhill eventually. Unfortunately. And so we're going to go through some of these comments here, and you can tell me when it gets negative, but I will tell you about the ones. We all love men platonically. Speak for yourself. I expect the replies to be drastic, but no, it's pretty chill here. See, it did start off for the first day. Very, very, very chill. Thank you. I'm sure I'll win over her eventually. I'm too sad to give up anyway. You got this. Go and message, but I fear for your safety, bruh. It goes both ways, not just men. Yes, true. Yes, I feel like this is an obvious thing. Even I get slightly annoyed by this, because I get annoyed on women's posts too when people's like, yeah, women should be treated better, and it's like, everyone should be treated better, and it's like, no shit. And I do agree with this. Just because it's about men doesn't mean you have to bring up anyone else. Let them have their moment. Let them have the moment. Not according to most of the women on this app. I don't ignore them. They are stuck up anyway. And I'd like to bring a fact here that only some of the worst representations of most communities are on Twitter, or at least the very loudest. So please don't think of Twitter as real people. I say using it, but they are not real representation of in real life groups, guys. And I want you to take that mindset through this entire story, because let's not get confused with the internet. The internet is not touching grass. They are not the majority of people. They are usually a representation of the most extreme. People are going to see this and send you death threats. I fear for you. Whatever they're going to do is nothing I haven't heard before, so I don't care. Pick me, pick me, pick me, womp womp. You can see that was on the 17th compared to the 16th. And this is when, right here, because in this timeline on the 16th, she started getting the pick me comments on the 17th, is when the tables turn. And I'm going to be honest here, anytime you bring up isms or ists, you're in for a bad time, because no matter if you're pro or against, you're in for a bad time, because if you're pro, feminist, meninist, whatever, propagandist. If you pick a side, the opposite side is going to get up you, and they usually get feral, especially on the internet. You may get a bit more chill in real life, but on the internet, people are going to crucify you no matter which side you pick here. Every feminist. As you can see, this is the part where it starts getting feral because feminism gets involved. And Kitsu says, I hate feminism. And honestly, that's her belief, and I feel like you can have a discussion, a nuanced discussion about disagreements, and I feel like it's fine to criticize, especially ideologies, because if you can't criticize ideology, it never improves, it never finds its flaws. So, fair. And honestly, feminism, menism, all those isms, all those ists, get a lot of criticism. This isn't new. But this is where the slight pick-me talk gets put up from 0, like, 1. I'd say 1 to like 100, because this is when it really starts going, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me. Everyone thinks she's pick me. Pretty much, pick me is horribly overused, and I would say pick me is more of when you degrade other people to impress men. And I wouldn't say automatically not liking feminism is pick me. I would say if you were saying it was all women's fault, it would be more of a pick-me. But she clarifies her main problem is modern feminism, but I'm not claiming to know what Kitsu's belief system is on this. But either way, I don't think it warrants the reply she got on this and how negative this goes. And I feel like if you really are feminist or equalist or whatever, and you're trying to make your point, attacking people aren't the answer. Like, it doesn't help anyone. Have a rational conversation, guys. If you disagree with someone, just have a conversation. Talk about your points. And another point, you don't have to argue with every single person online. Keyboard warring doesn't actually do much for the movement you care about. Do things that matter. Is there any handfuls hate so far? Because I know people will be pissy and throw a tantrum like a 3-year-old. There's a handful of dumb comments and quotes, but mostly it's positive stuff. Quite surprising. That's the thing. It was very positive, and then it took a very different turn, and we're going to go onto their main page here. I legitimately had people unfollow me over this. Good riddance. That is on the 16th, so some people did have a negative reaction, just not as big. And this is her first reply to it. So I generally didn't expect this to blow up as much as it did. I also didn't expect all the positivity in the comments. It is so heartwarming. I'm reading through the comments, and it's making me smile. Guy, the negativity hasn't found this post yet. What is to come? There are a few crazy ones, but they are going drowned out by all the positive ones. Yeah, as you can see, the 17th is when really the tides turns, and after the feminism comment, because I feel like people saw that as a target on her back. But that may just be me from an outsider watching this on Ravel. Kitsu may have a different viewpoint as she gets the notifications as they come in. So she has a more refined timeline. But here again on the, sometimes when you explain yourself more, it gets worse sometimes. It just gives them more cannon fodder. Feminism in 2025 should not exist. Not in the West anyway. Not touching that. Feminism used to be about equal rights for women, to make women equal to men, e.g. having be able to vote, equal pay, equal education options, which is in general, the idea of feminism. It still is. If online feminism, keyboard watering is not the same as feminism or equalism, or even men's rights is not the same as online men's extreme meninist rights, because they do charity work, they work with young boys, they do education, uplifting into careers that men cannot usually get into, etc. Real life, very different than online. Feminism talk, it's about uplifting women at the cost of men suffering. Nothing that is equal or fair. Ain't no such thing as today or modern feminism. Usually there's just women making jokes or genuine misandry. Women who are still being mistreated, getting called bitches and hoes, being introduced to what they could do for a man. So yeah, feminism should exist. That just tells me you are utterly misinformed about today's issues in feminism or are blatantly ignoring them. Again, I hope you will be able to improve one day. Personally, I'm going to give a little bit of my thoughts here. I think rights for men and women are still a point you have to fight with, be it workers' rights, rights for your children, rights in the workplace, etc. There is still things to fight about, especially depending what country you're in. So I wouldn't put your rights as I've got all the rights and nothing is wrong, because there are still situations out there, even in the West, where things like that can come up. Like, a lot of people don't know this, but child marriage, even in Western countries, is still a huge problem because of loopholes. So, and when I mean child, I mean like 12, dude. Like, I'm not talking teens even. So you have to be educated on the kind of problems like that. And you may be like, Del, what does children's rights have to do with feminism or meninism and stuff? It's because the fight for civil rights too, this connects us into that, and women's rights connect directly into the rights of children, because especially some of these child laws, like child marriages, negatively affect women the most, because in some states or countries, it's specifically only lowering the age for young girls. So it can be important depending where you are, and I don't think generalizing is important of no one in these X countries need it. It's just something that may be less important in your life. Your life may not need this as much, but I like a nuanced discussion about this, and I think it's perfectly fine, and I don't think you should be harassed for having a discussion about a topic even if you disagree. So I would say there's two sides of this. People, which I would say is the main side, people who just don't like the directionalness and the toxicity of modern feminism. Fair criticism. I also criticize similar points of that, especially keyboard warring feminists, or, any of the ists. But then you have another side of these comments, which is pretty much women voting was wrong. So I'm just trying to highlight that there's other sides to this, but I would have to say the misandry goes way further. And we're going to go into Saltays here, because they reply to some of the misandrists topics, and I'm pretty sure I saw in someone saying in here, I don't know if I have it saved, that misandry doesn't exist. You can be sexist to anyone, guys, let's be for real. But I don't want to go too much into actual political stuff and more into the story. Men deserves nothing. Fuck that person. Let's be for real. Blocked. The only people who doesn't deserve anything is giant motherfucking assholes. Blocking over this is so weird. This video speaks for I need more donations, because the only reason women ever talk about anything is because they need money. Women, am I right? Of course, it's a fucking VTuber saying this, Rimaevenstar. All you do is pander to gooner incel dudes who probably have a parasocial relationship with you. Men are not oppressed. Good old, you're a streamer, girl, so everything you say must be to pander for men. Realistically, I hate the whole oppression Olympics stuff. Because I have seen in workplaces, my brother-in-law is a nurse. Do you know how many times he has been sexually groped? How women have bullied him in the workplace because he is the minority in that workplace. There is like one man to 50 women, and any workplace where it's a majority one gender can get really freaking toxic. So that's why I truly believe anyone can be oppressed, anyone can be harassed. It's not a gender thing. Let's go into Salty's reply here. War of man vs. women is stupid. I completely agree. We should be fighting other people, not ourselves, guys. Get your head in the game. The married VTuber with male and female viewers, like, bro, really, we can have viewers there to have a good time and talk game without it being about wanting to bang us or manipulate them into giving money. There's so many other in real life streamers that are married, but no one bats an eye or comments. But the moment you're a VTuber, it must be to sexualize yourself and force viewers into wanting to date you. Give it a break, brother. I will say this does happen to VTubers, but it does happen to female streamers too, honestly, all the time. I would say the only one who's probably exempt is married male streamers. They don't get it as much, but they probably get the cuck comments more. Everyone assumes like a male streamer is getting cucked for some reason. The amount of young people that just say we don't need men and men are trash. Like, come on, we need to stop all this all men, all women bullshit. Exactly. That's the thing. I think generalizing, and people get up me about it all the time, that I don't like to generalize one group in my videos because 1, it's not fair, 2, it's not true. So why would I say it? And the all men, all women BS just causes more harm, and you're doing nothing positive there. Saying the line men deserve to be treated right in this time and space should be just prevalent as saying women deserve to be treated right. Your gender, sex, blah, shouldn't determine how you're treated. Only how you treat others. Just as much of an incel if you think all men are trash and should die. Like, it's generally no better. There's shit in every corner, but also good. And if you can't see both sides have their problematic people and choose to only believe one side is the perfect angel, I don't know what to tell you. Regardless of race, gender, or ideology, people deserve a chance to show their actions, rather than being grouped into all bad category. We are in time of who is the most oppressed victim. I do think that is a huge problem, especially as they say, all side is good, all side is evil. It's like people losing their mind when an anime doesn't have a black and white villain or a good guy. If not everything's black and white, they lose their mind. And I feel like people see it as that one side must be good and one side must be bad, and they don't see the nuance in between, especially on the internet. And it's a contest to see who can take the award when being victim isn't some brownie points we should aim for to see who can talk the most shit and lock down others without having repercussions. Victim mentality is poison that's affecting so many people, and it's miserable to be around. Wake up and stand up and do better. I could go on and on about how my life was fucked over and ruined by people in my life, how my childhood was taken from me, I was abused physically and mentally for sympathy, but my story isn't finished, and I refuse to be a victim of my circumstances. Get up. Exactly. I do have to agree with this, that the victim mentality, like being a victim, is a positive or gives you extra brownie points. Being a victim in the end is a sad thing. It's sad, it sucks, it ruins your life. It shouldn't be something you strive to push onto people. You are more than just the actions happen to you. You're more than just your demographic. You are an individual. And I feel like, honestly, though it took a negative turn, some really great conversations came from this post and this trend starting to go around. Well, today I saw there can actually be some positivity on this app. Most of the comments I have gotten are positive. Thank you guys so much for the follows. Do not expect to see so much support back. Oh god, these pick-me girls everywhere. Those men hate you and will rate at any opportunity. Stop raising these scumbags. Why are you this way? And I feel like that is such an extreme to just saying something nice about men. There's some lady people on the internet, but why would the majority of men be like this? It's such a weird takeaway. I get maybe going, oh, there might be a pick-me. Pick-me has been so watered down away from what it actually is. It's annoying. And people saying things like this, you must have had a great father. I grew up with a physical and mentally abusive stepfather, and I did have my fair share of sexism as well as SA in my life. But yet I do not generalize men. I got some nasty comments over the past 24 hours, but I got about 100 times more. And that's what I have to say. Though I have gone through in my life, I've seen some sexism. I refuse to generalize one group, be it men, women, be it being pushed for clout, money, whatever. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to change my opinion just to fit into a certain crowd. I will not generalize men. There are some very great men and I like to think they're the majority. And there's some very great women, and I like to think they're the majority. If you're not positive, you'll die sad, honestly. And I don't think it helps anyone generalizing whole groups on the negatives. You should be aware, you should protect people, and you should beat down the people that do those bad things. But generalizing the whole group as that is not helpful. And here's some harassment Kitsu got here in the DMs. You're dumb as fuck. I wouldn't be allowed to be a VTuber or have any of those bills to do without feminism, by the way. One day you will regret your pick-me behavior and end up ravaged by the very men you so utterly defend. Moron. That's the thing, I don't think Kitsu's actually defended any men's bad actions. She's in a disagreement is on modern feminism and its uses. And I feel like that really depends on your definition on what is in modern feminism. And specifically, if she means Western one. Because there's actually more extreme feminism in Korea right now. So it's really kind of assumes someone's entire belief system on one statement. And I hate this. Why do people do this? Annoying R word. I hope you get aped. Like, gross. Why would you say that to anyone, you absolutely uneducated Nathaniel? Jesus. There is no reason to talk to people like this, no matter your disagreements with them. You know what I say? Just call them an asshole and move on. Or disagree with them and move on. There's no need to harass people. And I'm not going to read it, because I don't think I can read it, but you can see it in there. And this started a bit of a trend in here, because that some other people has jumped on talking about this, but I'll go into that in a second. But a lot of people started, even in the VT community, started talking about this a bit more, especially seeing the negative feedback she got when it exited the VTubing sphere. Apparently this is controversial. Someone replied to this with, men are not oppressed. What's the meat? Bitch, that's a whole other sentence. You can hold men to account for the way they treat women and acknowledge them as human beings who deserve that. Who do deserve that? I get the gist of what they're trying to say there. And I agree with that. You can talk about the negatives of a group, be it men, women, children. I'm just saying kids shouldn't leave Legos around. That's all I'm saying. Without painting the whole block bad. And that is the thing. It's an important part of making a nuanced discussion is making sure you don't just paint it with one brush. You don't just go, this whole part is bad because of it. And then Rosie jumped on this trend a little bit too, which she does clarify. Kitsu set off this trend for her and to normalize complimenting men more. She has had a few, but a lot less than Kitsu. Her tweet is still upping up, so we'll see. Seeing it took a long time for Kitsu's to take a nasty turn too. But Rosie also took the time to compliment women in here, bringing up some stuff and some information. And she brings up the point that people should get compliments and not just romantic compliment. It should be general compliments. You did a good job. You are very strong. Blah. Just general compliments from your friends, from your parents, etc. There should be more compliments in men's lives. Because, as she points out, women deserve to be valued too, but they do get compliments more often because women are more used to complimenting each other too. And I feel like a reason women don't compliment men is also because they don't know how to compliment men without it being perceived in a sexual way. So it's like a double problem. But a bigger problem, I would say, is that men do not compliment each other either, and so it leaves men in this desert of no positive reinforcement in their lives. But she also got backlash for saying nice things about women, so I wanted to outline this story with Rosie too, because she got backlash for both, for saying nice things about men and nice things about women. Knowing the internet is equally toxic. Is that so? Then you should really see how good men get treated by majority of women. They treat us like shit, toss us out for the dogs to eat. What is the benefit of befriending a majority of women? You get used and abused just for their enjoyment and you fight back. What? Men obviously at some points get abused by women, but that you shouldn't generalize that all women treat men badly. I have many male friends, and that I've had for multiple years, and a lot of people have friends like that. I feel like a lot of people are turned off by one and two interactions. You can't live your entire life scared of whole 50% of the population is white, even though I've had bad interactions with men in the past. I still interact with tons of men. Not enough people learn that you should treat others the way they would like to be treated. Again, it costs nothing to be kind. And I would say that is the biggest underline of this conversation, no matter what side you are, man, women, octopus, that if you treat other people well, don't be a doormat. That's not what I'm saying. 100% not what I'm saying. If you treat other people well, they will treat you well. But you cannot expect people to treat you better than you treat other people. That's not how the world works. If you're an asshole, you're gonna get shit. So no one's nice to an asshole. Even I jumped on this trend because I decided last minute that I should put my own propaganda into this. Let men be emotional and show them emotional support when they do. I'm evil like that. But pretty much I'm just going to jump in on this two-person trend, Rosie and Kitsu, to spread my propaganda of men being allowed to show feeling, cry, and not feel bad for asking support. I just think a lot of men feel shame about this. And this just comes from personal experience that a lot of people I know won't reach out to anyone because they think it makes them weak. They're a weak man if they ask anyone, even if they're girlfriends, to support them or if they need them. And I think that's a damn shame. And a lot of guys really do think that women will leave them if they cry, which no one that is not an asshole would do. But I've heard of many women have their partners cry and they've been with them for years. And I just think it should be encouraged more and normalized, showing emotions. And I'm not saying raging out of anger, but proper emotions and expressing themselves, because in the end, it's a positive. But that brings us to the end of our case, my delinquents. What do you think of this story? What do you think of this going out of the VTuber sphere and causing drama? Kind of interesting on that part, that post particularly went out of the VTubing sphere to cause disaster everywhere. But let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell. I'll try and talk to you a bit. I am busy today because I had a bit of a family emergency, so I will try my best. And guys, if you want to see my debut on the Twitch channel on the 23rd, it is only 4 days away. And we'll be debuting our new cop outfit. And I'll catch you then, my doll.
In a world of neon lights, till the body shines so bright. Clumsy hot flood holds her crown, busting sassy folks she's found. The ears perk up a burp in sight, with a smile she takes the fight. Buns and balls won't break her stride, sharing heart she won't hide.